Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to PhilDoes3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream on Twitch weekdays from 5 PM Pacific time in the US, 12 PM in Australia and 1 AM in the UK. Good to see you, Sniper Echo. Yes, I did have a good weekend, thank you. I hope you had a good weekend too, and all you guys watching, hope your weekend was good. Let's open up Max. I have our file from last week ready to go. We started to do the attaches on the different pieces of geometry last week, so we will continue doing that today. Now I did notice last week while I was doing the attaches, OBS was warning me that my video card didn't like it, so we're going to continue doing the attaches today. Hopefully there won't be too many problems. I did notice though, when I watched my stream back, because I recorded to my hard drive later on, during doing the attaches there was a slight glitch in the stream, maybe a pip in the audio that you'll hear. If that happens, the reason is because these attaches on this piece of geometry are quite complex, so it upsets OBS occasionally. So what we'll do to try and minimize that is, instead of working with our half attached piece here, we'll start attaching a second half attached piece and then we'll attach those two halves together because they'll be the biggest drain on the system, so we'll do it that way. So let's start with these columns. I think we'll start attaching them around the outside. We're just going to match material to material ID. Please ignore my phone in the background. Okay. Once we've got these attaches done, we can export the model. But I actually want, before we do an export on the model, I want to change our textures to JPEG. So at the moment we're using Targa, TGA. We want to change that to JPEG. And again, that's so that when we bring it into Eon View to do the renders, we use less memory. Because a Targa file typically can be maybe about 11 megabytes in memory, and a JPEG, an equivalent JPEG, will only be about 2. So you will lose a little bit of information converting to a JPEG. So long as you don't pull the compression on the JPEG up too much, you should be fine. Like I say, they never convert your normal maps to JPEG. Always leave them as either Targa, TIFF, PNG or DDF. That's just because JPEG will destroy your normal map. So everything else can be converted, but not the normal map. You'll notice as I do this, Max starts, the more pieces of geometry that make up the attach, the bit slower Max starts to get. That's why we're going to do it in sections. And remember, we're doing this so that when we bring it into Eon View, the model is easy to move around because it's just one piece of geometry. Remember, we've already saved out our final version, which is everything unattached. This is the second version we're going to save out with everything attached. Remember guys, if you have any questions for me or anything you're not sure about, feel free to pop into chat. If you've got any work you want me to look at, I always like looking at the work that you guys are doing. I'm happy to look at that as well. If you just want to pop in and say hi, that's always cool. If you just want to watch, then that's completely fine as well. Angle our model around here a bit. This one in the corner. I just want to make sure I don't hit the ivy by mistake here. Let's leave those attaches for the columns along the outside, and let's move on to doing some of these supports here. If you're not comfortable selecting in the viewport, you can select here as well in the layer manager. I think what we're going to be doing today after I do the attach, we will probably, I just want to make sure I haven't attached these to the rest of the model here. We will probably jump into Photoshop so we can convert some, we'll either jump into Photoshop to do the conversion of the target textures to JPEG, or we'll use that program that I mentioned last week, SAP Visual Enterprise, to do the conversion for it. I'm not sure which way I'll go at this stage. Again, like I said last week, if I do use SAP, I'll show it to you, but I'm not going to go into detail about with the program because I don't recommend you buy it. It's really only meant for people that work with CAD models a lot or in ArchViz. It's an incredibly expensive piece of software, and all it does is convert model formats, so you don't need it. You can always convert models yourself in the 3D program that you're using. It's just handy for me to use because I work with a lot of CAD models with my ArchViz work, so it comes in useful for that. And it will come in useful if you want to do any quick conversions of textures and things as well. Now I'm pretty sure I didn't attach any of these supports. I'm just going to double check because I don't want to attach them to the main part of the model here at this stage. Again, I'm just taking my time, doing it slowly, for a couple of reasons. Like, I don't want to select something accidentally that I didn't intend to attach, and I just want to keep an eye on my OBS to make sure it doesn't complain. And I'm just double checking these aren't already attached, and they're not. So yeah, what we'll do is after the attach, I want to convert the target textures to JPEG. Then I want to reassign those JPEGs to the attached model before I do the export. That just saves me a step once I bring it into Eon View of not having to reassign textures in View. I can do it all in Max. Because as good as View is, it's not as easy to use as Max is as far as changing your textures and things. It's a little bit more complex. Mainly because they use what they call a function editor in View as opposed to the material editor that we use in Max. It's just a bit more clunky to use than Max's interface. So. Always better to do it in the 3D program as opposed to if you're working in View anyway. do it in the 3D program. You create the model in, as opposed to trying to do it in Vue. Again, I don't think I attached any of these supports. I'm just double checking them as I go. And remember, we had 53, I think, of these, or 54 of these supports, so there were quite a few of them. As I mentioned last week, I've noticed too, as you start doing these attaches, you start reducing the amount of memory your computer's using, which is always good as well. Also with the Eon View, when we set up the textures for the model, I will be importing this model into Eon View version 9, and I'm going to be rendering it in Eon View version 2015, which is the latest version is 2016. I haven't upgraded to that yet, but the initial setup of the model I'm going to do in View version 9. And the reason I do that is because this model is going for sale on Cornucopia's 3D website. And I like to allow people who have an older version of Vue to be able to use the model. If I saved it out as only version 2015, only people that own version 2015 and 2016 would be able to use it. But by saving it out as Vue version 9, that means people that use version 9, version 10, version 11, 2014, 2015 and 2016 will be able to use the model. That's the reason I'll be doing that. It's identical, but the way I set the materials up in the Vue version 9 will be the same as you would do it in version 2015 or 2016. The interface is the same, just the version. I thought I'd explain that now for people that might get a bit confused when they see me working in version 9. Not that you'll be able to tell, but yeah, it's version 9 initially that I'm using. Okay, we've got those attached. Let's just do a quick save here because, as I've said to you guys, I don't trust Max not to crash. So, and since I made those adjustments that I showed you guys last week in the preferences, saving and loading has improved dramatically, so not so much of an issue now. So yeah, initially we're going to be taking the model into Vue version 9 to set up the materials, and then we'll save the model out as a BOB file, BOB, which is Vue's native 3D format, and then we'll be importing that model into Vue 2015 to start setting up a 3D environment for it with vegetation and trees and that type of thing to do our final beauty renders in. And again, I don't know if you noticed when I hit my start menu, you see I keep a couple of versions of software on installed at the same time for this sort of reason. The same when I sell this model on Creative Market, I'm using Max 2016, but I'll save it out as Max 2013 version, so people using 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017 can all use it. It's just something to keep in mind if you do sell your work and you want to be able to appeal to the most people. Make sure that you save it out at the lowest version you can, basically. Now I do have Vue version 6 all the way back to 6, but I didn't use normal maps in version 6, so I don't want to sell any models that aren't using a normal map, at least partially so. Just checking these banisters here. I think we might move to those next. Looks like we may have attached that one there. I have to be careful when I hit that one. Yeah, that one's attached. That one's not. That one's not. And again, you normally wouldn't have to worry about this when you're doing your attaches, but I'm just careful because I'm streaming with OBS at the same time, and it uses my CPU as well. I don't want to starve the program, because that wouldn't be fun for you guys. So, okay. I think what I'll do is I'll start around the front here. I just got to remember to not hit that one there. So not that one. These ones are all okay. So let's start with this banister here. And again, by doing it in these sort of in sections like this and not doing everything at once, it will just help the program to cope with everything. Oh, I nearly did it. I nearly hit that one. Okay. It won't be a problem if I did hit it. It would just mean that you might get a hitch in the video while I'm streaming, and it may just take Max a bit longer to attach everything up. But if we can avoid problems like that, it's always better. Let's work from the outside, I think, here. And I'm just double checking, they're okay. They're all okay. And again, that little dialogue for anyone that uses Max, that's just asking me what I want to do with the materials that I'm attaching to the main model. And I generally leave it match material ID to material. So what that's going to do is, if the materials are being used again, which we've done a few times for these pillars, it's not going to add a separate same material to the material tree. It's going to use the material that the copy that the other column is using. So it'll just help to reduce your multi-material size. That's basically what that is doing, which is always good. You don't want to have multiple materials for no reason, if they're all the same material. But Max gives you the option as to what you want to do exactly. So. And I also have condensed materials and material IDs on it. Again, that just helps with making sure that you're not not adding materials that don't need to be. Okay, now selecting that one, I'm going to have to be careful again because of the ivy. I don't want to hit the ivy by mistake. Because remember, we're going to be keeping our ivy as a separate object so that people can remove it from the model if they don't want it there. And some people do. Some people might not want to have ivy on in their render. So I just want to make sure I get an angle here where I make sure I don't accidentally hit the ivy. Okay, that should be all of our columns along the top. Again, also with these angel statues, they're separate objects and they're going to be left separate. But what I have done is attach that the metal part of the light fitting here to the angel, because generally that's not going to be removable. But I've left the glass as a separate object. So the angel statue and the lamp, the metal handle of the lamp is all one, but the glass of the lamp is separate. And again, that's so that people can easily change the material on the model without having to look through 60 different materials in the stack, if they just want to change the glass material. Thank you, Sop303, for the follow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it when you guys follow me on Twitch. So thank you. Thank you, Sop. I think it's Sop, yep. So we've attached the columns. That's our original half-attached model. We've attached the outside columns here. I've already attached those. I haven't attached these pieces here or these ones here. So let's do that. Let's attach these small columns here through the front of the stairwell together. We'll start here, I think. I'll just pull in a bit. I'm going to attach that decoration that sits at the top of that column. This one over here. Again, the decoration at the top. This small column here at the base of the stairs. The metal deco here that runs around the outside of the sphere. And the actual sphere itself as well. This column over here. The metal deco. And the sphere. And we'll jump up to the top here and do the top column. Metal deco. Sphere. Alright. Let's see, what have we got left to attach here? I think we have all of the banisters here, these small columns that sit around the banister. I don't think I attached any of those yet, so we might, actually I did attach some of them by the look of it. So we're just going to have to be a bit careful while we do this. So that one, and that one are all unattached. Let's attach them together. Again, I'm just going to be careful not to hit the ivy by mistake. I'm going to double check that these ones are unattached before we attach them. That one's good, that one's good, that one's good, that one's good. Okay. And so far OBS is behaving, hasn't complained to me about anything, so again, doing it in these stages is probably the best way to go. Even if you're not streaming with OBS, it just helps your system cope a little bit better. And that will be the same for any 3D program, not just 3D Studio Max. They all work pretty much the same way. So if you need to attach a large piece of geometry and you want to put the less strain on your system that you can, then don't keep working with the one large piece. Break it up into smaller parts and then add those together. So it's always better. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay.
Dreams and wonders fill my mind. Letting go as I look into your eyes. Letting go as I watch us come alive.
Okay, unattached, unattached. Alright. And remember, with these small columns, we created, I think, 3 or 4 different textures so that we wouldn't notice we were repeating the texture around the outside. So by creating 3 or 4 different versions of that texture and mixing and matching it up, people will never tell that you've repeated the texture. Or you're reusing a texture around the model. But by all means, hey, if you guys want to texture everything up individually and separately and uniquely, go right ahead. Your model, you do what you want. As Bob Ross would say, it's your world. So these ones look like they're attached, this one's not, so let's attach this large one here at the back. Now I've just got to find the ones along this side that are unattached. Not that one. No, 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 no. Okay, that one's not. So let's attach that one there. That one's not, that one is. So let's attach the next one in this series here. Let's attach, 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 attach. That one's not. Okay, so that one's not, and that one's not. So let's attach that one. And this one just here. Alright, and you can see our list here starting to shrink down quite considerably. We've only got a few pieces left to join up together before we put everything into one piece of geometry. So what do we have left? Just before I do this, I'm just going to do a quick save again. Again, guys, remember, if you have any questions for me, anything you're not sure about, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If you have some work you want me to look at, I'm more than happy to look at it for you. If you don't want me to show your work on stream, then whisper it to me on my Twitch channel and I'll check it out and get back to you. I know not everyone wants to have their work broadcast to the world on Twitch, so I'm happy to look at it off stream. Now, if you just want to pop in and say hi, that's always cool. And like I said, if you just want to watch, that's completely fine as well. So we'll find the rest of the pieces of geometry here that we haven't attached. So let's see what they are. The angel lamp left will be one object not attached. We want that unattached so that people can move or remove the angel if they want from the model. Again, maybe people think the angel would look better moved up here or something. So I want to give people that option, so I don't attach that. The angel left glass is the glass for the light fitting here. I want to leave that separate so people can change the material on it easily. The right angel, the same thing. Right angel glass, same thing. The pointing angel, again the same thing. I want to keep the angel separate so it can be removed or moved, or just used on its own even. Right pointing angel. Okay, now it looks like we have a couple of banister pieces here that aren't attached, so let's find those. This one, this one, this one, this one. There are a few here, so I want to attach the banisters together. And again, I'm just going to check my model here. These, I think, are all attached. Yeah, there are no banisters left here, so... Banister support, what is that? Okay, so there are a couple of supports here on the interior that I didn't put together, so let's do that now. I don't think I attached any of these four that are sitting inside this curved section. Got to get myself to an angle here where I can see them a bit better. So we're going to attach that one. And we'll attach these two here on the outer edge of that curve. I think we've probably got the same on the other side as well. That one, that one, that one, and I think there's one hidden here behind the angel, yep. And that one, so let's start at the front and work our way back. And we just got to grab these two on the inner edge of that circle. So this one here, and this one in here. I have a feeling we probably have the same thing with the couple of these columns. What I'm going to do here though is attach these four to these four, so we're going to start combining these attaches together now. So we have a column there. I have a column in here on this very edge corner here as well, inside on that inside edge. So we'll start there and we'll attach it to the second column next to it. So this one. We'll work the same way on this side. So we'll select that inner column. Angle my model here so I can see that column a little bit better in there. We'll attach those two together. And while we're still going to attach that up here, I'm going to attach those two to these two. Okay. Now let's attach those four to the to all the columns that run around the outside of the model here. Let's not do it that way. Let's not go from the smaller to the larger. Let's go from the larger to the smaller. Again, that just helps the program work out the attach a little better. Alright. And again, let's attach the four supports here to the main supports around the outside, starting with the larger part of the model, the one on the outside. And again, we're going to attach it to those supports on the interior. You'll notice it takes Max a little bit longer to do that, and that's because as the model gets more complex, the longer it's going to take the program to work it out. Alright. Let's see now, the angels we're leaving separate. Catalytic. Hey, the attaches work fast with undo off. Do they? That's an interesting thank you for that. But it's hard to remember to undo on after the operation. That's interesting, I didn't know that actually. I don't generally turn my undo off because there are times when it can come in really handy. If you do something you didn't mean to, but if you're turning the undo off, it speeds it up, and yeah, that's really interesting to know. So, thank you for that tip. So there you go, guys. Catalyst says if you turn undo off in Max while you're doing your attaches, it doesn't take as long. You type it to the bottom right edit box. Okay. That's a good tip, one I didn't know. You're a Max user Catalytic. I'll get it right. Ask the other guys, I always get usernames wrong, so sorry if I mispronounce your username, anyone, in advance. I always do get it wrong usually. You can undo on the back right after, but it's trade-off. Bottom left, yeah, okay, I think I know what you meant. Oh, you've been using it since '96, and you must be a Max DOS user, maybe. I remember using it since version 1. I don't know if they called it version 1, but when it was before it was even called Max, when it was just 3DS, 3D Studio back in the day. So I'm a Max user from way back as well, but I didn't know that about the undo, turning that off. I don't know if you use Windows 10 catalytic, but I've noticed a lot of people having problems with saving and loading. People have been complaining on the Autodesk forum that it's taking a long time to load or save their file. And I did we oldies, yeah, that's right. I came across a post on the forum which suggested turning off some settings in preferences, and it really seems to have helped speed that up quite a bit. So again, just for the benefit of anyone else that is a Mac user and is having problems with Windows 10 and the program taking a very long time to save or load your file, just go into your preferences and files and turn off Save Viewport Thumbnail Image, Save Schematic View and Display Obsolete File Message. Turning those three off has returned Macs to saving and loading the way it should, which is, pretty quickly. But it was taking up to 5 minutes for me to do a save or a load prior to me turning those off. I've never had to turn them off in the past. It seems to just be something that's happened with the updates to Windows 10. Why, I don't know, but yeah, ask Microsoft. Yeah, so yeah, just so I point that out to you or to anyone else watching that uses Mac, turn those three settings, just untick them, and it'll speed up your loading and saving times quite a bit. And because I like to save regularly because I don't trust Mac, I turn autosave off as well because I don't like the program hanging while it doesn't autosave. So I turn that off, which means I have to save regularly, so I found that has really sped up my workflow quite a bit, turning those off. So just something to keep in mind, guys, if you are using Mac. So let's have a look here. What have I got left to... This is Max 2016. I do have a license for 2017 as well, but 2017 is incredibly buggy. I can't run it on Windows 10 Anniversary Update. With my NVIDIA GTX card, it won't work properly. It crashes. If I use our DirectX 11 Nitrous viewport, my entire system will freeze. I can use it if I switch it to Direct3D 9 in the preferences of Max 2017. But I prefer to work with Nitrous DirectX 11, which is what I'm using here in Max 2016. It doesn't have a problem. But whatever changes they made in 2017 when they released it Autodesk, it completely crashes my system. I've read on the forums that it's happening to a lot of people that use Windows 10 with the anniversary update and particularly have an NVIDIA video card. You're on a 970. What version of Mac are you using? Okay. You haven't had any major problems with 2017 on Windows 10? Well, you're lucky. It does seem to affect a lot of people with Pascal cards. I'm on a GTX 1080. Although I have noticed a couple of people saying they had 970s and 980s, it was affecting them as well, but mainly it's people with Pascal video cards, whether that's the Titan or the GTX 980 or, 1080 or 1070 or 1060. Yeah, it completely freezes the viewport. So I don't know, it must be some change that either NVIDIA made with the Pascal series of graphics cards with their driver, or it's the DirectX viewport. It just seems strange because I'm using 2016 here with DirectX 11 and I don't have a problem with my 1080. Yeah, I guess it is luck. You moved to 2017 in December. Yeah, I have all of the latest service packs installed as well as the security update 1, I think they call it. I have all of that installed, and as I say to you guys, always make sure you do install any service packs that Autodesk release for Macs because it's important, or any Autodesk product, whether that's Maya or anything else, because they do fix bugs that they find in their service packs. Sometimes they can create new problems with their service packs, but it's always wise to install them. I do have all of the service packs installed for 2017, and it hasn't helped. Yeah. I hope 2018 is as well. I mean, that's due to be released in the next couple of months, so As I was saying to the guys last week, I have a feeling Autodesk probably won't fix the problem in Max 2017 because they're so close to the release of 2018. Which is fine. I'll use 2018 when it's released. We'll see what it's like. But I always keep my stopgap of 2016 installed because it's behaved wonderfully. I've never had a problem with it.